Okay, we lucked out. I hit live. I thought you had it all ready to go.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Hey, turn yours up there.
We are your Quad Cities Sports Talk Radio Show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn.
It's Happy Hump Day, Quad Cities. How's everybody doing out there?
Hump Day!
Hump Day!
Hump Day! All right, well, we got everybody back in the Hassle Castle. Serge is over there. The Stat Cat will be on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. T-Roy's over there to my right. We got a busy day of talk amongst us three, and we got phone calls. And we have Bobby's going to stop in as well, Bobby Metcalf from Quad City Times. We got to reach out to a few people. We've got some Iowa high school football playoff action coming up. We're going to talk to our friend Mark Simpson in Cedar Falls. We talked to him back in, I believe, week 3 or 4. Bettendorf will be traveling up to Cedar Falls to play in the quarterfinal round of the Iowa High School Class 4A State Championship. Tomorrow we're going to be talking to Tim O'Neill from the Dubuque Telegraph-Herald. We'll be talking to him about Western Dubuque, Epworth, their high school football team. They'll be playing North Scott in the quarterfinals on Friday as well, but that's tomorrow. We're in the end of this hour, we're going to talk to Emily Van Buskirk. She's our college football girl. She writes for Yardbarker. She is the host of a Locked On podcast for the Pac-12. She also has done a few things on Hot Mic covering NFL games. We're going to talk to her about the college football playoff rankings and what she thought about them as well. And Bobby will join us at 1:15. At 1:45, we've got a special surprise.
Who dat?
We're going to talk to Jeff Lanham.
Who dat?
Jeff is a man who's living on his roof.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Jeff is in Cincinnati.
What do they call him again?
Jeff up on the roof?
Jeff on the Roof.
Jeff on the Roof is his Facebook page. So you guys can go find that. We're going to talk to Jeff at 1:45 our time.
Surge on the bar.
There you go. Jeff is a Bengals fan.
I'm going to ask him if he knows Andy.
If he does know Andy.
You know Andy from the Natty?
If Andy's out there, make sure to go to Hog Rock Cafe, and you can see Jeff on the roof in Cincinnati. All right. So, gentlemen, let's see. Last night, you have college basketball, which was a big, big college basketball way to kick off the season.
Shut up.
Serge isn't very happy about it.
No. Stupid.
This is stupid.
Season's over.
Yeah.
You know what's even more stupid, Jay?
What's that?
Chinba.
Yeah.
You hear what's going on with Chinba?
No, you can tell me, though.
Well, apparently
awesome.
guys get to sit down and, take a rest because they don't want to be overworked. Playing 82 games.
But that's
of basketball.
That's not anything new.
I know, but what if you paid $75 to take your family to the game and you wanted to see Kawhi or LeBron or?
Well, LeBron did not take the night off in Chicago.
He didn't, but somebody did.
He went for 30 strong against
Just
the Bulls.
saying.
He had a triple-double, 10 rebounds and 11 assists.
82 basketball games in 1 year. That's all you got to play.
Everybody's working
You
for
mad
the
that they take
playoffs.
a game off or what?
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, shush.
No.
They take a game off.
Why?
Rest.
Not this early.
No,
Come on, it's not
this
that
early.
The most any team
This
has
is-
played
it's-
so
it's-
far.
I think it's
who are you talking
7
about?
games.
Well, it was Kawhi, but I'm just
8.
going to say that there's more than one that does
He's
it.
notorious.
This is ridiculous. It's 82 games a year.
But you
all right,
don't-
let's just say, let's just say we all have a job and we work for John Deere. Or what?
Okay.
Made up company. We'll call the company QC Local. So at QC Local.
Blackhawk State Park Black Squirrel Fund.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
All right. At that job, you get blank amount of sick days and so many vacation days. Okay? Well, in the NBA, your vacation is during the off season. First of all, you get how many months off if you don't make the playoffs? If you don't make the playoffs, you get a lot of time off. You basically get off from
Playoffs go basically April, May, and June, right? Halfway
Yeah.
through April, May, June.
yeah,
So,
and then basically July, August.
You get 4 months off.
Yeah, then in July, August, September, they don't start playing basketball till October, correct? So you get 3 months off a year. If you win the championship. And you get 6 months off a year if you don't.
Out of all the
I'm
things
just
to
saying,
have
you
a
get-
take about today, of all the things to have a take about, this is it.
It is.
Wild card.
I'm sorry, dude. It's crap.
Did not see this
It's
coming.
crap. That's why that league is crap.
Oh, see,
It's crap.
I know you're mad about it already, but I think one game is okay.
Yeah, but I'm with the
as long
guy.
as it's
but
not
Sergio,
regularly. For no reason.
But it is going to be regularly for no reason. I'm with the guy that say, hey, man, LeBron's, and I'm not saying LeBron did it, but I'm saying, oh, I want to see this team play because so-and-so plays in this team. I'm going to take my kids. Hey, it's going to be a fun night. Oh, well, so-and-so's in street clothes tonight. Because you don't know what night they're taking off.
That does suck.
Now, this isn't like baseball where it's, all right, factor this in, okay? What's the one thing that basketball can guarantee you is never going to happen?
What's the one thing that basketball is going to guarantee you? Oh, rain delays or
rain delay, rain
cancellations.
out, cancellations, snow game,
Inclement weather.
Inclement weather.
Very good.
Football.
Thank you, Serge. That's what I was
Football.
looking for.
All right, we have football games canceled because of weather. Okay,
Sure.
we have all
Hurricanes.
baseball games canceled because of weather. Baseball games and football games played in scorching heat outside. Basketball games, guys, where are they played?
In an arena.
And what is the temperature in that arena, Jay, at all times?
Usually
probably?
a cool, constant 76 degrees,
Probably less than that.
74.
Probably more like 72.
What is the optimal temperature?
I don't know. I would say 70.
The UNI dome was kept at a constant 76 degrees. I once read that 74 degrees is the optimal temperature,
Ooh, I think that's a little warm.
for human beings. Maybe it's just to be outside. That's the most fun place.
But either way,
yeah.
you follow what I'm saying here.
I'm
You play
following what you're
82 damn games a year inside 70, let's just say 74 degrees, Jay, optimal temperature. You got to run up down the court for a couple hours. 82 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to take time off. You're a professional athlete. You're paid, by the way, Kawhi, $400,000 per game. They talk about these politicians walk around and they talk about we need to make sure that the needy are fed. What about this dude making $400,000 a year? He can't even play. He want to sit on his ass because my ankle's a little sore.
You did not give any warning of this whatsoever. I can't believe we've been going on for this for 7 minutes.
I'm sorry.
He
I
had a
think
note
it's-
card in his pocket of reminding
Yeah.
himself.
You brought up basketball and I just remembered Chinba, and this is why I don't like Chinba anymore. I'm done with the NBA. It is hands down the most coddled sport with a bunch of the most prima donna. I'm gonna call them bitches because they're bitches, Jay.
Woo!
Bitches.
You better hope they're not like that that D-back in Cleveland. You hear
Well, I
that
don't
and get on
care.
Twitter, talk about.
I'm gonna sit down because my leg
Yeah.
hurts.
All
Listen,
right.
I'm damn near 50 years
You
old.
brought up Chinba.
I hate
I was
Chinba.
talking about NCAA.
Well, that's a
Uh,
real sport. You know what? Because the kids are playing for something.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids don't get to take time off.
We had number
And they have
one
to go to
versus number
school.
two. We had a number 3 versus number 4 in the State Farm Tip-Off Classic in New York. Kentucky beat Michigan State 69-62. Duke beat Kansas 68-66. Put this on Facebook. Put this on Twitter. Michigan State is the first preseason number 1 to lose its first game of the year since 1999. Who was that team who beat them?
To beat Michigan State in their home opener?
Michigan. A number 1, a preseason number 1 to lose their first game of the year.
Okay.
It's the first time it's happened in 20 years.
Okay.
Do you know what that team was?
Who lost?
What team? Yeah, in the 1999 season.
1999 season, the number 1 team would have been Connecticut.
It was Connecticut. Very good. Do you know who beat them?
They lost to, in 1999, UConn lost to UCLA.
No.
I don't
First
know.
game of the year.
First game of the year.
Arizona.
No.
That's all I got.
Steve Alford's University of Iowa Hawkeyes.
Oh, I did see that. I was trying not to cheat and reference.
Khalid El-Amin was on the floor for them.
Wow.
Khalid
Jeez,
El-Amin. I threw that out. Steve Alford. That was when the Steve Alford era looked pretty good, and then it just kind of just went downhill from there.
Well, he's a jerk.
But yeah, I heard that stat this morning. I was like, you know what? I know that's what it is. Looked it up, and sure as can be. Games in college basketball, top 25. We're looking at UNC is going to host Notre Dame tonight. Virginia is at Syracuse. Arizona hosts Northern Arizona. Ohio State and Cincinnati will be playing tonight at Ohio State. Purdue will host Green Bay, and that's just your top 25, but there's a lot of other games going on.
So we're having some discussion earlier after some morning meetings. What do you guys think about this? So this 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4 to open the college basketball season.
It's smart.
I like it.
It
I think
doesn't matter. I mean, it's smart. It's
I mean, there's
I'm with you. It doesn't matter in the end because it's not like college football where someone's going to be
Undefeated.
knocked out. Yeah,
Right.
you know, whatever.
it's a long season, but to open that up right out the gates, and I'm not just saying this because Kansas lost. I would happy if they would have won. I still think this is, man, it's to go against the best of the best. You have there's no easing into a non-conference schedule, or I like more of a tournament to start the year rather than this State Farm Classic where the top 4 just battle it out. But 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4, 2 wins and 4 wins. I mean,
Good. Now one has to play 3, right?
no, it's not a tournament. It's just
Oh.
they just each play a game.
Oh.
That's it. So, I mean, it kind of messes with their rankings a little bit. I wish they would
But-
do more of a tournament to start the year.
Yeah, I would like a tournament.
I don't. Either way, it doesn't
I mean,
matter to
you
me.
basically-
But it's such a long year, and nothing. Like I said it yesterday, I'm not excited about it because I don't really care until we get to like February, Sergi, where I can see who's going to match up where, what's going to be in the bracket, who's playing well in February as opposed to who's playing well beginning of November.
Right.
I mean, because right now, yeah, Duke won, but something
Yeah,
could change.
but
I
like-
mean, look at last year with Kansas, the injuries.
Sure.
You know, that
So
could happen to be
Shelton
Duke.
asked on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread here, what are the chances all 4 make the Final Four? I'd say highly doubtful.
Oh yeah,
No way.
preseason top 4 making the Final Four.
No.
Yeah, come on. Who is the preseason top 4, by the way?
It
Duke,
was
Michigan State.
Michigan State, Kentucky,
Duke.
Duke, and Kansas. Not in that order.
Wow, Blue Buds.
Let's see. We haven't had a national champion
And who won last
west
night? By the way, I know
of
Duke won.
Lawrence, Kansas since
Okay, so it was
90s,
1 versus 2 is Michigan State. Sorry, Jay.
No, it's
Michigan
okay.
State versus Kentucky. Kentucky won as the number 2. They knocked off number 1 Michigan State. Number 4 Duke knocked off number 3 Kansas. So it was in that order. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
So
It's- that's a fun. You can make that bet out at Elite Sportsbook. You can bet who's going to be the Final Four. Let's see. Louisville, number 5, won last night. Number 6, Florida won against North Florida. Number 7, Maryland was there.
Florida's going to be
Gonzaga is the one to look at. That's the one that might be breaking that seal that since Arizona was the last team to win that, like 96, 97, west of Lawrence, Kansas. Villanova's in the top 10. Yeah, we'll see. Memphis is the one to be looking at, right?
Memphis is the one to be looking at. Jay, thank you for saying that. You want to know why?
They're the new Fab Five.
James Wiseman.
That's the center. He's the
That
number one. He
is
was the number
the
one
big
recruit.
boy.
He was 28 points and 11 rebounds yesterday.
Yeah.
There's a guy on their team named Precious, and another one named Boogie. They're all freshmen. So
I like Precious.
yeah, college football playoffs committee met yesterday. They released their first of 5 official rankings. Ohio State got the top spot. Penn State, LSU was number 2. Alabama 3. Penn State 4. I put out my top 10. I had Ohio State 1, LSU 2, Penn State 3, Clemson 4, Alabama on the outside looking in at 5. And some of my other ones in the top 10 weren't in there. I had Oklahoma a little bit higher up than they did. I had Baylor in the top 10. They did not. Baylor's 8-0. I figured that was a way just to give them. That's the other thing. You have an 8-0 team in a Power 5 conference, and why wouldn't you give them a little bit more respect than keeping them out of the top 10? Because that'll work its way out. If everyone says it's all going to work itself out, why can't Baylor 8-0 in a Power 5 conference be a little bit higher than top 10? Now it's got a lot of work to do.
Oh, I'm with you. I mean, if we're going to let Clemson into the top with their 42nd ranked strength of schedule, what's Baylor's strength of schedule,
That's a
Jay?
great question, T-Roy. It's 58th.
58.
So there you go.
So not far off.
Mm-hmm. That's
I'm just saying, if you're going to let them up there and they don't have a loss,
yeah.
I mean, and so
Georgia's is 18th.
so right now, and where was Baylor at, by the way?
Baylor was not in their top 10. I'll give it to you. in a
We'll just say
second.
they're 11.
Okay.
So give me the rest of the top 10. After Clemson,
Sure.
it was who?
Georgia at 6.
Okay.
Oregon at 7. I had Oregon in my top 10. Utah. I did not have Utah in my top 10.
Okay.
Oklahoma
Okay.
and a 2-loss Florida.
Florida, 2 losses. Every other one of those has a loss, right?
Yes. Maybe
Just-
Utah's undefeated though. Let me give me a second here.
Well, I know Georgia lost.
Utah's 8-1. Yeah.
All
Georgia
right, now
lost
give
to
me
South
strength
Carolina.
of schedule for those 5 schools.
Okay. You want strength of schedule of what 5 schools? Give the
Georgia.
Georgia is at strength of schedule is at 18.
Okay. Oregon.
Oregon, 9.
Okay. Utah.
Utah, 20.
Okay. Okie.
Okie State. Oh, Oklahoma, sorry.
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Oh, this is where it hurts, the Big 12. Oklahoma, still scrolling. 36.
Okay. Florida.
Florida is number 4.
Wow.
The thing that's helping Clemson is Texas A&M has the 10th highest. Their win, it was by only 6 points. It was a backdoor cover. There's Texas A&M strength of schedule is in the top 10. Iowa's strength of schedule is 13th, just to throw it out there. But
I would still, based on this, I would say Baylor has to be right behind Clemson. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's just it. But that's the strength of schedule as of today.
Yeah.
But we've got all this and more.
I mean, sometimes you make a schedule 10 years prior. You don't know how good a team's going to be in 10 years.
Yeah.
And everybody plays cupcakes. I don't want to hear it. Well, you play the worst cupcake that we play. Okay.
Yeah. We can talk about that with Emily when we talk to her later, but we need to take a quick break and then make a phone call.
Is it a crank call?
No, we're going to call Mark Simpson from Cedar Falls, Waterloo area, from the Waterloo Courier. We're going to talk to him about Bettendorf versus Cedar Falls this week in state quarterfinals. Got to go a little bit behind enemy lines again.
All right, Quad Cityans, you know what we think about social media around here. Get off it. Stop doing it. It's terrible. It's crap.
No, we don't.
Oh, just joking, Jay.
No, we don't. We have a show that's on it. It works out well for us. Okay.
Whatever. It still sucks. Anyway, guys, go to your Locals Love Us guide. It has an easy-to-navigate table of contents to help you find what you're looking for. Or you can go to the website, localsloveus.com, click on Quad Cities, and browse your favorites. It's easy to use, and they even rank the most popular places for you. Those are our friends from Locals Love Us. Check them out. They are your guide to the best.
This is UFC Hall of Famer Pat Miletich. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us. We're local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Leaks, ruts, snooks, cranny, crevice, tooth. You've got those wet basement blues. Call the absolutely dry guy. Call the absolutely dry guy. Put that water back in its place. It's time to reclaim your living space when you call the absolutely dry guy. Or visit us online at absolutely.dryguy.com. This was brought to you by Absolutely Dry Basement Waterproofing.
If you're running a business, how much should you invest in retaining your employees? First Midwest Bank has ideas. In today's tight labor market, keeping your employees is more important than ever. A First Midwest banker can help you determine what type of 401k plan to offer. At First Midwest Bank, they're not just bankers, but expert financial advisors. Talk to one today or visit wehaveideas.firstmidwest.com.
From local to global, ESPN 1170 has you covered. Your Quad City Sports Show is here for you. Don't hassle us, we're local with your favorite foursome, T-Roy, Jay-Bird, Surge, and you. Weekdays noon to 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader. ESPN 1170 AM wants you to be an insider. Get access to great contests at ESPN1170am.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged. From the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
When William Hill opened his sports book in 1934, he didn't just use any name. He used his own. He wanted it known that behind every bet, there was a name you could count on. And 85 years later, his name is here at the Isle Casino, Bettendorf. Join us for drink specials during all Sunday, Monday night, and all Iowa football games. Place bets at the sportsbook or by downloading the app today. William Hill, America's #1 sportsbook. Now at the Isle Casino, Bettendorf. 21 plus only. Problem gambling support is available by calling 1-800-BETS-ALL.
Olderog Tire and Performance is offering an oil change for only $24.95. Get up to 5 quarts of semi-synthetic blend, oil filter, 27-point inspection, and they'll top off all fluids. Get a full synthetic blend oil change with up to 5 quarts of oil for only $49.95. Olderog Tire is your full auto and tire service store. They do brakes, AC work, struts and suspension, tune-ups, and alignment. OlderogTire.com. Open Monday through Friday till 5. 2316 Rockingham Road, Davenport. Service local. Olderog Tire and Performance.
Limited time only.
ESPN 1170 AM is the Quad City Sports Leader and your home of the local sports show. Don't hassle us, we're local. Listen for a chance to win everything from tickets to free food every time you win and pick up your prize at the ESPN 1170 AM Pepsi ticket window. We'll give you a free Pepsi for the road as well. It's like winning twice. Get more chances to win by downloading the ESPN 1170 AM app or by going to ESPN1170am.com.
The best NFL and college football talk can be heard every day from morning till night on the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Where my bobbers at, Jay? Where my bobbers at? We are live here on AM 1170, the K Bobberino. And we're also out there on Facebook Live.
Yes, we are. And you can listen to us on ESPN 1170 AM. You can download the app at your Google Play Store, your App Store, and download the ESPN 1170 AM app. You can listen to us there. Listen to us on ESPN1170am.com. And watch us and listen to us on our Facebook Live. You can leave comments.
Jay, I just pulled a muscle. I got to take the rest of the day off.
You got to take a break, yeah.
I got to take the rest of the day off.
Listen to us live. And you can leave comments on the Harrington's Pub Facebook
You'll get
comment.
days off, T-Roy.
Oh, that's right.
We're gonna give a call to Mark Simpson up in Cedar Falls, Waterloo area. Mark covers all things up in that area, including prep sports. He's going to talk to us a little bit about the Cedar Falls Tigers. They're going to be playing the Bettner Bulldogs in the state Class 4A quarterfinal football this coming Friday. They're going to play host to them. Bettner travels up there. Let's
what are you doing?
Did I hit the wrong button already?
I don't know what you're doing.
Oh. Day off, you go
What are
play
you
in the Chinba, T-Roy.
I'm not playing Chinba.
Well, you get days off.
Oh.
Load management's what they call that.
This place starts paying me $400,000 a game. I won't take any days off.
Huh?
True. What game you playing over there?
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Pocket pool.
No.
Oh. What game are you playing, Jay?
Tic-tac-toe.
Yeah. Am I not doing this right?
I don't know.
It right?
They never taught me how to use that thing.
And it just says idle.
Every day you come in here, it's something new. Well, we'll call them. Maybe we should take another break. See if we can get to work. No? All right, we'll keep talking. You keep dialing.
Thanks, buddy.
So, T-Roy, back to this, your hatred of the Chinba. And
It's not hatred. The thing is, I used to love the NBA.
It's fine. So I'm all about taking unnecessary days off. Like, I'm against that as well. Unnecessary days off. You go to see your favorite player, and he's not playing for whatever reason. So they do call it, they take nights off due to load management.
Yes, that's the
that's the phrase.
Do you know what I call load management,
I
Serge?
know, load of crap.
Every morning I have to take a dump. That's load management.
All right.
What?
But, okay, so the Toronto Raptors even did it with Kawhi last year with
Yes.
with the nagging quad injury. They want to make sure they're not putting too much on him, too much strain on those muscles, because would you rather have him rest one game this week rather than have to maybe miss 2 or 3 games when it really matters?
I guess to me, here's the deal.
That's my only defense.
An injury is an injury.
That's all. Right.
An injury is an injury. You can say, "Oh, I'm resting because of this." You can make up any story. Well, he's feeling a little tweaky.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Is it true or is it not true? Who am I to say?
He's got a sprained thumb that we don't know about.
Right. Like, I mean, I guess I look at football players and you see those guys play in the harshest conditions. They only get 16 games in a year. So granted, it's a smaller pocket size.
Right.
Playing once a week, 10 times more physical, 10 times more stress on your body than basketball. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's some banging going on, whatever else. But, I remember playing basketball, and I remember thinking, well, yeah, you can play back-to-back nights.
Right.
You've rested. It's not like hey, I just ran a marathon. I'm going to run another one tomorrow. No, it's not that.
The big problem is they're talking about losing important games now that might affect their seeding down the stretch. I don't think that's an issue. I think it's more just fans being pissed off. They bought the tickets. They bought.
Well, it's the fact that if you think about every one of these
travel expenses,
yes.
everything else, and you go that you
What about think about every city that the NBA's in?
Yeah. Say in 1996, you and I go to a Bulls game.
There's no reason why gas or anything else, or
right.
pop or beer or whatever else is more expensive than in GD Chicago or GD New York or whatever else than it is here in little old Iowa. Budweiser pays charges the same damn amount when they ship it to wherever they're going to ship for your Bud Light.
Right.
All right. The United Center decides they're going to charge you $10 for a 16-ounce cup.
Right.
Okay. Or the Bulls or whoever it is, the NBA.
We're going to try to reach. I appreciate you guys filling in for me and all this stuff and whatever's going on.
I'm just
still get you
about,
fired up. I'm going to call from my phone.
And that's every sport too. I'm not saying that it's just the NBA that charges too much for stuff.
Hi, Jay.
Yeah, Mark.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. You're live on the air. You're on Don't Hassle Us, We're Local here at 1170 ESPN 1170 down the Quad Cities. We got Troy and Surgeon here with me as well.
Hey, Mark.
Sorry for the delay. A little miscommunication with the board. So, Mark, we talked to you. What was that? Week 3 or week 4?
Yeah, it was going into week 4 of the high school football season. Seems like a long time ago.
I know it flew by, but then
well, now we got a rematch.
Yeah, but it got that long. So last time we had that game at Tuvel, and we had that crazy weather, and Cedar Falls won the game, and now we've got a rematch going into the Dome this Friday.
Yeah, it should be interesting the second time around. I don't know if it'll be quite as high scoring as the first matchup. Cedar Falls winning 35-32. I would see the game maybe lower 20s perhaps. I think teams will make adjustments, but you never know. I mean, Bettendorf, that outstanding running back you have, I bet he's going to be excited to be inside at the Dome, and fast players are always faster on the turf at the Unidome. So it should be interesting. I'm expecting, though, a really well-played game coming up Friday.
Well, yeah, it's a kind of two different styles if you think about it. Cedar Falls passes a lot more than Bettendorf does, and you guys going into this game with as many passing attempts that Cedar Falls has, almost 200, you guys have a very high completion. Cedar Falls has a very high completion percentage, number 2 in the state. But in Bettendorf, like you said, their ground game with Harrison Bay Bowie, it is a little bit contrast of styles. Now, Bettendorf can throw a little bit, but Cedar Falls, the thing that I took away from the game that I saw is how tall Cedar Falls is.
Yeah, they are tall. They've won the last 2 boys basketball state championships.
Yeah.
So maybe that has to do a little bit with it. Yeah, they're lean, athletic, and Tigers like to pass the ball, but they like to run as well. They're a very balanced team. I think that's what makes Cale Loescher, who's their quarterback, do so well. He does a lot of play action, and it's anchored by a strong running attack. I think the first time Cedar Falls and Bettendorf met, Ryan Ostrich, the running back for Cedar Falls, was just starting to emerge as the top back for the Tigers, and he has since picked up close to 1,000 yards rushing this season, and he has developed into kind of their go-to back. Before, he was kind of sharing the load with another back named Bo Gross, who you'll see occasionally, but Ostrich has given them a good, solid running attack, and it has been almost 50-50 as far as for rushing and passing this season.
Yeah, but I mean, that passing attack is strong. 21 touchdowns on the year that you guys have, tied for number 2 in Class 4A, and just right behind Valley with 22. So, you mentioned that you went from a 2-headed running attack to now a number 1 guy. So that makes it more established as it is. And defensively, you guys are playing well. I mean, 10-0 on the year. Solid team, and now they get to be at home. They don't have to come travel, and if they keep winning, they get to stay. They get to keep staying at home. Meanwhile, Bettendorf wants to play spoiler, of course. What's the temperature like up there? Everyone really excited, or what's it feel like up there?
Yeah, they're excited about this. I think last year Cedar Falls, finally got over the edge. They beat Bettendorf.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that helped propel them. Gained a lot of confidence that they could match up with the elite teams in the state. And I think that helped propel them all the way to the run of the state championship game against. They lost to Dowling, but that's a game they led with about 9 minutes to go in the ball game. So I think that was a real one of those games that again that the Tigers were able to really believe in themselves. And I think getting that win earlier this year, winning at Bettendorf for the first time, did the same thing with this team as well, believing that they can do it again. They can match up against the best teams in the state. So, yeah, there's a lot of excitement for it. I think, the first round game, they beat Dubuque Senior easily 44-0 in the first round of the playoffs. But, they had beaten Cedar Senior like 2 weeks prior to that game in a regular season game. So, it was it felt inevitable they would move on to the quarterfinals, even before the ball was kicked off. So this game, it's a lot of buzz, in this time of the year, in that Elite Eight in each class. This is, I think, a real exciting time for football.
Well, we got to bang the drum and beat it down a little bit more that Wiley and Remmert, Wiley, the coach of Bettendorf, Remmert, the coach of Cedar Falls, know each other well. I mean, going back to being college roommates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and Wiley being from Cedar Falls area, coming back to his neck of the woods, so he always enjoys that. It's going to be a fun time, and I'm looking forward to going up there. I'm taking my family up there as well, and just
Every time you go to Cedar Falls, Jay, it's the coldest day of the year. You realize that, right?
Yes.
Last time we were there, we froze our what's off.
Because Cedar Falls is built like on a hill that's 15 miles higher than everywhere else in Iowa.
Yeah, but then it's cold. Like I think you bring the cold, Jay.
No, it is very cold up there.
It's gonna be colder.
It's gonna be
on
cold.
Friday. It's gonna be freezing.
That's why
Mr. Bigglesworth.
That's why they play in a dome. It's okay.
It's like Chinba.
Yeah, they'll be in a dome and it'll be just fine. And then after this, depending on who goes, then they reseed the semifinals, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, then they'll reseed the remaining 4 teams, and again, if Cedar Falls wins, they'll again be back in the friendly confines of the Unidome.
Yeah, and they'll continue it by the RPI that came out before the end of it. So Cedar Falls at the end of the season was number 2 RPI, right?
Yeah, correct. Okay. Yes.
With West Des Moines Valley being number 1. So, yeah, just trying to look at some of the schedule here and how the tournament the playoffs will end up.
I'm going to give you a stat that if you're Bettendorf, you might not like this stat. Yeah. Like Cedar Falls is all-time in the playoffs, against a team they beat in the same year in the regular season. They're 9-0.
That's got to change sometime, buddy. See,
yeah,
see now
you that stat.
Never tell me the odds. See, now you just jinxed them.
But that would also come down to before district playoff, and that's when they more geographically where you saw like maybe a Waterloo or a Dubuque Hempstead or a Cedar Rapids.
Back in my day, Waterloo West never lost to Cedar Falls.
Back in your day.
Yeah, but I'm old.
But you know what I'm saying, Mark? That was when you used to see more of the MVC guys and then come back and play more of the regular
correct,
season.
But I don't know. It's one of those weird stats that someone passed along to me.
No, I like that a lot. I know Bettendorf's really excited to get back up there and get another shot. They feel like the weather kind of interrupted that game, but I can't stop but point out how tall Cedar Falls was and how those receivers could stretch the field. And like you said, dual threat running quarterback, and now you have your running game situated. It's going to be fun. Bettendorf's got to answer. Their secondary has to answer what I felt was the most exposed thing for Bettendorf during that game against Cedar Falls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think Cale Loescher, the quarterback for Cedar Falls, he's only lost 1 game in his career. He's been a 2-year starter, and that was in the state championship game to Dowling. And he's etched his name on the record books at Cedar Falls as one of the leaders in yardage and as far as I'm trying to find the numbers ahead of me, but as far as attempts and completions, yards, touchdowns, completion percentage. He kind of owns all the records right now, career-wise at Cedar Falls. A good quarterback. Bettendorf, an outstanding team. Coach Wiley. Defensively, Cedar Falls coaching staff, they really talk about how well defensively Bettendorf is and what a challenge they are, and they felt pretty lucky last time. To outscore Bettendorf. They weren't expecting to do that last time. So, yeah, this should be again a second time meeting teams. Always interesting what adjustments each team will make. So, should be a fun game again on Friday night.
Absolutely, I think it's going to be another classic. All right, so are you going to be covering the game up there for the Courier?
Yeah, I'll be doing the game. I'm going to do my TV gig for Cedar Falls Community Television. So we'll be covering the ball game there. So I'll be there, right at the 50-yard line.
Oh, okay. So you'll be up in the press box unit for the MCM
Correct.
up there. So what's your game day ritual like? Do you have a go-to place?
No, I guess my rituals. I got as far as superstitions. I always like yourself. I just like to be prepared. I check 3 times all the notes. Like the memorize numbers. Just talk to particular people about the health of some players, the mindset, what they think. Get some insight that way. As far as pregame meal or anything, I don't like to eat before a game because I'm always worried about burping or something on the air or something like that. So I keep the stomach empty and eat afterwards, and that's usually something quick fast food. That's those are the boring rituals that I have.
Gotcha. What are we looking at kickoff time here on Friday?
7 o'clock. Yeah, it'll be a hard start at 7. That's across the state. I think that's for all the schools, unless there's any changes for some of them. But all the 6 classes are scheduled to begin at 7.
All right, so here's what I'm looking at. I'm going to get done with the show on Friday. Then I'm going to pick up my kids straight from school at 3:20 when they get out. Then I'm going to hit the road, and I'm going to be up as soon as I can up at Mulligan's and enjoy my time there before I head over, and then I make it to the Dome and be there by 6:30. Sound like a good plan on my part?
That sounds like a plan, maybe call ahead, a few minutes out, tell them you're coming in.
Yeah, I'll call Bennett over there at Mulligan's and take care of that. Mark, I want to thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate it, and best luck calling the game.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I appreciate it, and good luck to the Bulldogs.
Yep, good luck, Cedar Falls Tigers. Thanks, my friend. Take care.
Okay, yep, bye-bye.
You didn't mean that, Jay.
What? Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You don't mean good luck to the Tigers.
It's Mark Simpson. He does it for the television up there. I think earlier in the show I said Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier. I was wrong. But it's going to be a fun game up there, and I'm excited tomorrow to talk to Tim O'Neill about the Western Dubuque Epworth Bobcats, and again go behind enemy lines and talk to them because we got to do North Scott, and I'm going to reach out to the people down at East St. Louis because Rock Island will be hosting them, and this weekend, if I'm correct, East St. Louis is ranked number 1 in their class, and Rock Island's hosting them, and they're ranked number 1.
2.
I think they're ranked number 1 in the nation. So
yeah.
So I'll keep looking into that. But it's going to be a fun time, and for those of you interested, that's what Cedar Falls is going to bring to the table. But we're going to have to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to give a phone call to Emily Van Buskirk and talk more about the college football rankings.
We're going to get the phone to her?
I call her on my phone. How's that? Just like it did there.
See, that was perfect.
Yeah.
That's why I want to do everyone
Hey,
from now on.
I didn't create the rainy day. I just have the best umbrella.
You do. I love your umbrella.
Ella.
Umbrella.
Go.
Pizza lovers. That's right. Van's Pizza and More has opened at the Plex near the corners of Middle and Forest Grove Road. They have outstanding daily specials with that Van's Pizza that you love. Today is Wednesday. It's a bug off wings and the baked pastas. So all you have to do is call 563-232-1396, and Van's Pizza and More will have that order hot and ready for you to pick up. Or if you live in Bettendorf, you can have it delivered. Delivery is limited, so please ask when you call. Once again, that number is 563-232-1396. That's Van's Pizza and More, 55023 Competition Drive in Bettendorf.
This is Bobby Metcalf from the Quad City Times, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Sheedy Family Chiropractic is your choice for chiropractic care in the Quad Cities. Chronic problems, joint pain, or recent injury, don't let pain slow you down. Sheedy Family Chiropractic in Davenport can help decrease your pain and improve range of motion, keeping your busy life moving. Same-day appointments available most days for new patients and $20 sports physicals. Call today or visit SheedyChiro.com. That's SHEEDY Chiro.com. Sheedy Family Chiropractic, getting you back to work, play, and life.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand...
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
No, I can't.
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike three.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot.
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
Are you ready? Black Friday savings all month long at the McGrath Used Car Superstore of Davenport. Gavin McGrath, I know you're ready.
For everyone in the Quad Cities who's ready to trade, push, pull, or drag it in. Get more for your trade, get more savings all month long.
Black Friday is a McGrath family tradition.
Save more green, trade up now. Over 2,500 pre-owned vehicles to choose from with payments from $167 a month. Save all month on the Quad Cities' best selection of certified used trucks from $10,988. Black Friday pricing on pre-owned Silverados, Sierras, Rams, F-150s from $10,988. Now at the McGrath Used Car Superstore of Davenport.
Even if your trade has high mileage,
push, pull, or drag it in. Payments from $167 a month. Used trucks from $10,988.
What if my credit has a few dents or dings?
All credit applications accepted. Nobody works harder than our credit team to help get you approved.
The McGrath Used Car Superstore of Davenport, 4618 North Brady Street.
Log on McGrathAuto.com.
Storm Hockey returns to the Tech Slayers Center Saturday, November 9th for Salute to Military Night, presented by Machinist Union District 6, Lodges 388, 1191 in the Quad City Times. There will be an enlistment service on the ice at intermission, and the Storm will be wearing camo military jerseys that'll be auctioned off after the game to raise money for Guide Dogs of America. Get your tickets for Military Night online right now at QuadCityStorm.com.
ESPN 1170 AM is the Quad Cities sports leader and your home of the local sports show. Don't hassle us, we're local. Listen for a chance to win everything from tickets to free food. Every time you win and pick up your prize at the ESPN 1170 AM Pepsi ticket window, we'll give you a free Pepsi for the road as well. It's like winning twice. Get more chances to win by downloading the ESPN 1170 AM app or by going to ESPN1170am.com.
Get local sports on Alexa. Enable the ESPN 1170 skill. Then tell Alexa to play ESPN 1170 and listen to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Noon to 2, only on ESPN 1170 AM.
Hanging out here, K-Bob style. That's right, Bobbers. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, a local on AM 1170. Brought to you our friends at Done Right Satellite and Dish.
Last night, we had a little Maction going on.
Maction?
A little Maction, Mac football.
Give
Tuesday
me
night.
Maction.
Yeah, a little Tuesday night Maction, and we have another game tonight as well. But yeah, let's see. It was Toledo and Kent, and then Western Michigan played. Just throwing it out there for people who would like to get a little, want to see a little bit more college football than just on the weekends. We have put on the Facebook page, our friend Evan from our fantasy football show, our podcast, put together another DraftKings Sunday League. Go to DraftKings.com. I sent the link out on Facebook. I'll do it on Twitter later. Go to DraftKings and join the league. It's $5 to get in. It's up to 20. I think we've done 10 before. It's going to be up to 20 this time. It'll double the payouts now. And get your team in there. So go to DraftKings.com and join our league. It's not a thing where you're in a league. It's just easier to get notifications when we set up leagues that we're in. And we're going to do another Thursday night game, just a Thursday night contest like we did on Monday night, where you get a captain and then you get 5 flex guys. So that's from our friends at DraftKings. We actually reached out to DraftKings and talked to them a little bit, and we're going to have an analyst that's going to talk with us, I believe, next Tuesday. Kind of talk to us more about, we're getting used to the daily fantasy football, but talk to us about, plug your ears here, Roy, daily fantasy basketball. Sorry.
Well, I'm going to talk about something local, Jay, because it's Don't Hassle us for local.
Yeah, go ahead. Feel free.
You can talk about chin ball all you want.
All right, I'm out.
But we got a couple local people that need recognition, Jay.
Okay.
Defensive Player of the Year, 3A, from Assumption,
That's
Seth
right.
Adrian.
And he's a wrestler, too, by the way. A very good wrestler.
3A Coach of the Year.
That's right.
North Scott's Kevin Tippett.
That's right.
So there you go.
That's a big deal. And speaking of local, I want to give a shout out to my friend Roy, who listens to the show. He hangs out at the fitness center. I get to see him.
Yeah.
And then on Friday, we got to meet Mike Kaiser.
Yeah.
You got to talk to him a little bit. So
you recognize our voices, Sergi.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing on my end.
Yeah.
So yours is a good thing. Mine.
No, my wife hates my voice.
So before we went through the whole debacle of going through trying to figure out the phone situation, which
I love the situation, Jay.
Do you?
Because because of your umbrella.
Again, didn't
If
quite
it
through
wasn't for your umbrella, what would we do, Serge?
Is there a need for these 5 different college football playoff official rankings?
I don't know.
It's the wrong pipe there.
Wrong pipe, guys.
Wrong pipe. That my kill button is now just off.
Okay,
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's all right. You're right. Is there a need, or is it just to fill television time and to talk about it? I mean, ESPN. It's what is, I think, in my own opinion, for the daily shows. And I know if I sit there and say talking heads, everyone's like, "Oh, you're a talking head." Well, I'm not. But I just feel like
That's
it's
what you call your fantasy team.
Yeah, because it's a play on words. But the thing is that I just feel it's a content filler for ESPN to draw more attention to ESPN. Because I mean, again.
Oh, dude, they have meetings.
Mm-hmm.
We're all sheep.
Yeah.
And how do we get the sheep to follow us? They all try to find the best sheep herding dog. Here you go. Let's make them talk about this. And they'll debate this for a week, and everybody will be pissed off.
Yeah. Well, I think we just like to, as far as...
right now, Carl's livid.
We like to, on our end, we like to poke the bear. And that's why when you said, like, get a hold of Carl.
Well, yeah, I want to mess with Carl just because he annoys me. But but other than that, I mean, you can poke holes in the rankings all you want. I mean, it's...
Okay. Well,
it's
Carl,
all opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Carl messaged me on Twitter. He's free tomorrow. We can poke the bear and ask him about Clemson.
I mean, all it really is a this is what it is right now, but this is what we have coming up. If scenario A happens, is this what we think is going to happen next? And then who moves up into this spot? Is this team strength of schedule better? That's all it is. It's really nothing more than who do you think's going to happen? What if this happens? If this happens, is this more value than the other?
What do they
That's
do?
the exact conversation we had.
How
right
do they
before we started
determine
the show.
strength of schedule? It's the strength of your team that your opponent's schedule. Like or
all the opponents that you have throughout the year,
their record,
their schedule,
plus the record.
In
Sure,
every
that's a factor, too.
year,
Yeah.
the playoff, in every year of the playoff, except for the first one, a team in the College Football Playoff Committee's initial top 4 rankings won the national championship.
Say that again.
In every year the playoff, except for the first one, a team in the College Football Playoff Committee's initial top 4 rankings won the national championship.
Oh, we got it right 25% of the time, kind of
All right,
thing.
so in the first
The lone
year,
exception, it was in 2014.
All right, and who was their initials?
Their initial in the top 4?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I would go
Who won it?
They debuted at number 16 before making the playoff and ultimately winning it all.
Was it Ohio State?
It was Ohio State. That's the lone exception. Usually they end up getting it right.
That was Cordell?
Huh?
Cordell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. The defending champs Clemson entered the season as a preseason number 1, and despite not losing a game, they find themselves at 5. We mentioned that. But if the Tigers win out, their toughest test last is number 19 Wake Forest. They're locked to make the playoffs. And obviously, we said these rankings are going to change. You have LSU and Alabama this week. Penn State they have to face Minnesota this weekend, and then they go to Ohio State the weekend after that. So it will be moved around. So I mean, But we're gonna give our.
So if that's the thing, if you're telling me that's the case, then we'll ask Emily when we get her on the line.
Okay. Ask her what?
What I'm going to ask you guys right now.
Okay, well, let's give her a call.
Between Ohio State, LSU, Bama, or Penn State, if you had to pick one of these right now that's going to win the national title, out of which one of those would you take?
Out of the top four?
Out of the top four.
You know what you want me to tell you? It pains me.
I know it's going to pain you. It pains me, too.
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
All right, I'm going to go with my Tom Brady rule here. Why bet against Bama? Out of those four.
Okay, well, let's see what Emily says. Because I got it written down. It's in ink now. You guys can't change it.
If Clemson were in there, I would pick Clemson.
Yeah, maybe, but I just going off the rule.
Sure.
All right, we're going to call Emily Van Buskirk, friend of the show, writes for Yard Barker, has her own podcast.
She has more than her.
Hello.
Hi, Emily.
Hi.
Emily Van Buskirk, friend of the show.
First things first, Jay. Emily, how are you doing with the fires?
Oh boy. It's been a very long 10 days. They finally have it today, almost all contained. We're supposed to have it 100% contained tomorrow. So, it's been a lot. It burned a lot of acres. Luckily, we learned from 2 years ago in the Tubbs fire that was almost in the same spot, and they managed to evacuate and save all the towns. But it's just been devastating to see this much ruin up here again. So
now I have a winery that's like one of my favorite wineries in Sonoma, and it's called Chalk Hill. And I did see that the fire made it to Chalk Hill Road. Do you know if that winery survived?
I did not hear. I know the biggest one that we lost was Soda Springs, which was like an iconic historic winery, but I don't think there were any others that were completely burned to the ground. It may have suffered some damage, but as far as I know, the only one that was completely lost was Soda Springs. So I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to look.
All right. Well, if you find out,
I will let you know.
hit me up on my DM.
Oh boy. Emily is a friend of the show. We've had her on. She, came down and she spent her summer in Peoria, but she's out in California, like T. Roy said. And T. Roy is such a sweetheart for asking that. I tried to jump right in, but look at you go.
Well, I wanted to see how she's doing.
Yeah.
Concerned about my friends in the NoCal.
Emily writes for yardbarker.com, and she hosts the Locked On podcast for the Pac-12. And she's done a little commentating, too, on Hot Mic.
I know. I watched you guys the other night.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good. I love the fact that you guys drink wine when you do it, because that reminds me of our show here. We drink beer on the show,
That's right. It's kind of like, because Hot Mic is so new, but they don't have to conform to the radio and broadcast regulations. So we kind of take advantage of everything that those people can't do. So we drink and we swear, and Jess likes to ridicule people and bully them on camera. So
that's great, though. I think it was awesome, and that's the thing. Like, everything's better with alcohol, I think.
Agreed.
I mean, even your kid's birthday party, I found that out.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
All right, Emily. The college football rankings came out yesterday. They're going to change. We know that. What were your thoughts about the initial rankings?
I talked about it a little on my podcast. I guess I was kind of surprised to see Ohio State, in that first spot, given how good LSU is and how unimpressive Ohio State's wins have been. But what I think we learned from this first round of the rankings is that the committee this year is going to depend a lot on the eye test. Something that a lot of regular fans who haven't seen these teams play, it's hard for them to understand, because unless you've seen a team in person and you can understand, how fast they are, how athletic they are, the little nuances that make them a good team, then, trying to weigh in on the conversation is kind of pointless, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
Em, I want to stop you there, because I mean, I am not an Ohio State fan. I actually hate them. But I would say, I would say by what their strength of schedule is, number 3 over in the country, and what they've been doing to people that, like, when they beat the bad teams, they're just beating the holy hell out of them. There is no let up. There is no whatever.
There's no slip up. Yeah, there's no come from behind.
I mean, they just look. I mean, to me, they just look really, really good.
Yeah, and I think a big part of the reason why people are talking about them being number one as well is because they haven't missed a beat, with the whole Urban Meyer thing and the changeover and all of this kind of turmoil. You haven't seen them stumble or, fall in any way. So I think that kind of resilience also speaks to the committee and just how well they've consistently done despite issues that might have knocked other teams down for a little bit. So.
Right. And I can see, here's my thought, I can see the argument where Penn State should not be in and Clemson should, but then I look at, one, they're both undefeated, and then I look at strength of schedule. Like Clemson is 42.
Right.
And compare that to a one-loss Oregon out in the Pac-12, who is number 9 on this list for strength of schedule.
Right.
Yeah, Oregon lost at the beginning of the year to Auburn, who was playing a lot better than they are now. I'm sure things might be different now, but, it is what it is. You play them when you get them.
Right.
This playing out, can you see a one-loss Oregon team making it in? Because we know for a fact between these top 4, 2 of them are going to end up with one loss, no matter what.
Yes, and that is, honestly, I'm not even going to – I have not been commenting on Twitter too publicly about these rankings because the Pac-12 got away with a lot. I think they had the most favorable positioning of any conference. Where they're at with Oregon and Utah, they are poised to break in because the rest of their season for both those teams is pretty smooth sailing until they hit the Pac-12 championship, which kind of looks like a semifinal game in and of itself.
Will they meet head-to-head in the Pac-12 championship if it's played?
I believe that's where we're headed. I mean, Oregon, I believe they have a bye this weekend. Utah, the rest of their schedule it was front-loaded for both teams. So they kind of got through the worst of it. Now, Oregon has to play Oregon State in the Civil War, which is always tough because it's a rivalry game. And Oregon State is actually weirdly very good this year. But barring any natural disasters, it should be Oregon-Utah in the Pac-12 championship.
Who does Antifa root for in that game?
No, come on.
Come on, Jay. That's a funny joke. All right. So going to other undefeated teams in the nation, in particular Baylor. 58th strength of schedule. Not even in the top 10. Well, I mean, I get it. Florida it has a number 4 strength of schedule, but don't you think Baylor deserves to be up there?
I don't know. And this is the thing is I haven't seen Baylor play. I was supposed to go this weekend to see them play TCU and kind of get my first look at how good they are in person. But you look at the next 4 games for them, TCU is a game that they haven't won in 4 years.
Okay.
And it's at TCU. So there's possibility for an upset there. And then they have to play Oklahoma, Texas, and then they get a kind of an okay game at the end in Kansas, but there's no way that they survive the end of the schedule. So to me, it's kind of a non-starter because then they're going to fall into that one-loss category. So
I got you.
And I don't think they're better than other one-loss teams out there. Georgia, I think they got it right. Georgia is, as far as we know, Georgia's the best one-loss team. It's hard to say. I want to say Oregon because I've seen them play so much and I know how good they are. And that game to Auburn, that game against Auburn, they lost. I mean, they had it won and they played just as well as Auburn did, if not better. So I don't know. There's a lot we don't know. And the next
say
couple
go
weeks are
Ducks.
gonna be crazy.
I want to see your Ducks in it.
I would love that. We have
Last time they were in it was Marcus Mariota, I believe.
Yeah, it was, and that was embarrassing. So then we don't want to remember the past because they didn't. And this is what people always bring up is the Pac-12 can't finish, and they can't compete in these big, national games. But this is a different team, and Mario Cristobal, the head coach, he's a different guy.
Right.
So I like the Ducks, but I also like the Utes. Honestly, I could see them upsetting Oregon. They're a very staunch team. Whittingham is one of the best coaches in the country, very slept on, and they're dynamic. Tyler Huntley should be in the Heisman conversation, and it's ridiculous that he's not. So,
all right, I got a couple more for you.
Okay.
What's wrong with your Stanford Cardinal?
Oh my God, how much time do we have?
It's all right.
It's been insane.
I know it's been bad. Did they lose to Cal? Am I right? Is that?
I mean, no, they haven't played yet. So
They
that
haven't
game,
played yet. Okay.
This is the games they have coming up, which is hilarious. They have to play Cal, and it's at home, so that's some sort of comfort. And I think they'll have, Costello back under center, so he'll be guiding the offense. But they have to play Notre Dame at home, and Notre Dame's not like amazing, but they're better than Stanford. They're going to kill them.
Yeah, this is one of the few years that where Notre Dame probably is better than Stanford this time around.
Yeah.
But Notre Dame,
And I think if Cal gets their quarterback back, Chase Garbers went down with a really nasty injury, and Cal was 5-0 before he went out, beating Ole Miss, beating Washington. I think they would have been a lock to win this game against Stanford, but without him, and we don't know if he's going to be back or not. He might play this weekend. We're not sure. But without him, it's going to be a very close game. But if he does come back, I think Cal wins for sure, and I would bet on that, to be honest.
All right, the last one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Rumor mill here in Iowa. We got a lot of mills here in Iowa.
Yes.
A ton of them. Urban Meyer's going to USC. What have you heard?
Oh, no shot. So on my podcast yesterday, I just had Arash Markazi. Actually, it's on the episode today. Arash is a LA Times columnist, used to be with ESPN, and he went to USC. So he's very dialed into the scene there. And one of the things that he told me is that they're not going to go with Urban Meyer, and that was never a thing. But the hiring of the athletic director from Ohio State kind of it brought about this question of, well, he would bring Urban with him, and then when they told him that he can't, he wasn't going to go there anymore. There's just all this drama. But what Arash said in the podcast is that USC often there's all these rumors about who they're going to get and these big names, but at the end of the day, they always end up with like the third choice, and it's never the right one. And so just expect that. So whoever you think is like the least likely candidate, that's who they're going to hire.
Well, it's never been the right one since what's his face took off before the sanctions hit.
Pete Carroll was the last good, and so
Yeah.
and they've been struggling. They brought in Lane Kiffin. And Clay Helton, bless his heart, is a fantastic human being, but he's just not the right coach for USC. So the question is, are they going to fire him mid-season, during the season, or are they going to wait till the end? That's the big question. They love tarmac firing over there. It's a scary place to be when you get on a plane.
Well, yeah, you're on the plane. You can't freak out because then the marshal will just zap you, right? And that's it. Yeah. And then you get banned from flying the rest of your life. So you got to be careful, man. There's a lot of things.
I don't know how Lane Kiffin handled it, but I would have paid good money to be there when they told him that on the tarmac. So
yeah, that not cool. Not
no.
Cool. Now I know you can't be biased, but you probably have like a ton of hatred of USC deep down, right?
Hatred, I don't know.
Just dislike. How about just dislike? We won't hate such a strong word.
They've gotten a lot of, they've done bad things, but a lot of programs in the country have done bad things. And I think USC is paid dearly for those at this point.
That's true.
So it's like, I can't really hate them anymore. I just kind of feel bad a little bit.
They're the ones that have to live with the fact that they had Hoj, right? We don't have to do it. They do.
Right. And they are reminded of that every time they go to a visiting school. When they played at Cal last year, Cal had signs all over campus, talking about O.J. Simpson.
My God.
Yeah, it was like all the fraternities, have those things up. So I think they wear it.
And where did you fall on the ruling? I know California was the first to pass the bill, but the NCAA came out and kind of backed it up, if you will. I'll give them that. But players getting paid for their likeness. How do you feel?
I like that. And I just went on this guy's podcast earlier this week and talked about it at length. I do think it's great that they're being compensated for the use of their image, because that, when it comes down to it, is a legal issue as opposed to anything to do with athletics or scholarships or whatever. It's a trademark thing. So I appreciate that they're being compensated that way. Anything beyond that, where we're talking about getting salaries, getting, paid to play in games, to bring in revenue, then it gets really dicey. And I don't think we can support a system like that as a collegiate, society. I don't think there is a way to make that work.
Yeah, see, I see you taking the Jay side of it, because Jay told me that where do you draw the line? And I'm like, well, I don't draw the line. I say this. I said, if there's a company,
this a free for all?
Well, here, follow me here. So you're out in Silicon Valley, okay? So let's say one of these big, tech company says, whoever it is the founders from Stanford, okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, I want this running back from wherever to come to Stanford. Hey, man, if you come and play for these guys, I'm going to set you up with a deal. You're going to be doing commercials for me. Your 4 years while you're in school. It's out of his pocket. And as long as he's up front with what he's doing, and we know, okay, well, then the big farm tech company out of Iowa is going to have to say, hey, man, no, we wanted more. So then we'll give him more money than that. I don't know. I say make it
like
as
a live auction,
transparent as
like you're auctioning
possible.
off cattle.
I don't think it's like that because you're getting.
Well, that's what it's.
Cattle get eaten. These guys are going to get paid. All right, there's a difference.
I mean, and this is my other point is I was
The cattle never get the money. The player gets the money.
Right, but somebody somewhere gets the money, and whether they're doing it for their families or for themselves or whatever the reason, at the end of the day, they're 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids. So if you're going to tell me that we think it's okay to hand an 18-year-old kid, just an average person that's playing college sports or wherever they're at, that amount of money and say, good luck. I can tell you right now, as a Division I athlete, if someone had done that for me, it would be gone, and it would be not handled correctly. It wouldn't have been in my best interest as a student and as a person trying to develop into a member of society to do something like that. So I can only speak for my experience and what I've seen in college athletics. I think the idea is really nice, but I think finding a way to actually make it work logistically is going to be hard.
It's going to be worse than we already have, because you're going to put a regulation on it, and then you're going to tell a kid, well, you can't have anybody pay you for your likeness until your senior year or your junior year, or what, you know what I'm saying? It goes, as a freshman, how many freshmen come out that are going to be, the Fab Five doesn't happen every day. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's not going to be till later. I mean, that's the thing is, I don't know who makes those rules and why. And
but that first group of freshmen that should be getting paid, that don't get paid, are going to complain about the rule. I say we either leave it as is and let everybody continue to cheat behind closed doors, or make it complete. I know I'm with you, and I agree with what you're saying.
Understand.
I'm being more devil's advocate than I am anything on this.
No, I completely, that's the thing is, we all want the same thing. We all want the kids to receive what's fair, and to have every opportunity. And that's really, you hear these stories about football players that, they're sleeping on couches and they can't eat. They're being fed by coaches, and it's heartbreaking. So obviously we want change.
I know exactly how to change. I have it settled, period. Every one of these university presidents has to take less of a salary, because they're all paid in the millions. Every one of them is paid in the millions.
And that was kind of my point on the podcast I talked on earlier, is I said the NCAA is the NCAA and they're responsible for whatever, but at some point it's up to each institution to fairly compensate these guys and make sure they're taken care of, and we can't hold the governing body completely responsible if each school is just deciding to, not take care of their own.
Well, yeah, and it's funny. I mean, people sit there and they scream about homeless and people being hungry and kids needing food, but as soon as you become a college athlete, nah, dude, you got to feed yourself, bro.
Right? Like, it's crazy.
Stupid.
Yeah. People think because they see the facilities and they see all of the stuff, especially on recruiting visits. Don't even get me started. Like, you see the side of it that's been carefully curated, and it's not the reality. It's like that whole Instagram versus reality meme.
We went to Iowa Media Day. I mean, they fed us the press. Crazy. Hy-Vee catered it in.
I know.
Jay knocked out 2 sandwiches and 2 bags of chips.
It was a lot for me.
He was very excited about it.
Oh my God! You guys know I covered Iowa and Northwestern.
I was going to ask you about that.
So I tweeted you, told you to come down and party.
The Iowa Penn State game, unfortunately for you though, I mean, that was the first weekend you got to do the hot mic, and
so you were going to jump on a plane. You said I was going to jump on a plane, and you said I had a bad feeling, so I said no.
I did. I went to the airport and I checked in for the flight, and I was sitting at the gate. And I just didn't think I was going to make it back to do the hot mic, so I turned around and went home. I was like, I can't do it.
Like you felt danger?
No. I don't know. And everyone keeps asking me that. I don't know. Yeah, part of it was like I felt like something bad was going to happen, and I don't know in what capacity. Whether it's I got stuck out there. There was no clear route to get home. I was going to have to go to Peoria and fly out of there, and it just seemed like a bad idea.
There
You know,
were a
and
lot
I'm
of
finally at the age where I'm like saying no to bad ideas. You know, so.
Yeah, there were a lot of moving parts to get because we were going to get you back to
Right.
Peoria that night. So I think in the end, I think it was the right call because you got to do that.
Yeah.
But you went to Northwestern. You
Mhm.
probably couldn't have picked more of a boring game.
Defensive domination by them Hawkeyes.
20-0.
That's how we play football in the Midwest, Emily.
Evanston, Illinois. Yeah, so I mean, at least you got to see Iowa, but you got to see them in Evanston,
You
Illinois.
got to see the coolest uniform in college football.
Which
you gotta put
I
that.
did. I got to see, and I got to talk to some of their coaches and interact with some people. I got to say, the head coach, interesting cat. His post-game presser, first of all, he didn't come out for like an hour. And all of the media, the Iowa media is kind of weird. I'm going to say
Trust
this.
me.
Like,
Yeah, we know. You met
they
Tom
were odd
Gagert.
guys.
Yeah.
And they were saying, they were making jokes like, I was probably the only female in there, so they were making these weird jokes. They were standing super close. It was just like uncomfortable. And then we waited for an hour for the head coach, and he came in and he was fine, you know, talking, old school guy talking X's and O's. But then he went on this rant about, I can't remember what it was. It was some rule change, and he didn't like it. And he literally ranted for like 2 minutes, and it was epic. So it was worth it.
Is this Fitzgerald or Ferentz?
Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the thing about Evanston, I mean, that's like the 10th best stadium in Eastern Iowa compared to our high school. Yeah, compared to our high school ones around here. So
Yeah, that's the worst stadium on planet Earth. Like you would think something, in Chicago would be a lot better than that, and that thing is garbage.
Yeah,
I thought Evanston was cute. It was like this cute little town, and like
cute.
it was fine.
Cute if you can't pay your taxes. Cute.
That's what you want for a Big Ten matchup is cute.
Yeah.
So
cute. That's what I want my bunny rabbit to be. Cute.
Yeah. Well,
can we go back to? Can we go back to what you said about Georgia? And you said the committee. You think the committee got Georgia right at number 6. Why?
Yeah, I know. I'm sure that doesn't vibe well with some people, but
yeah.
I mean, okay, their one loss, South Carolina, at home, is not great, right?
No, it's not.
Okay, but they're still a really good football team, and they're someone that I have seen in person, not this year, so I guess that I can't say it about this team, but just knowing how they play and what they do, they're a tough team to beat. And so I look at the other one-loss teams, and I envision, okay, could they beat Georgia? I'm not sure that Oregon could, to be honest, and I definitely don't think Utah could. But I don't know. I could see people's arguments why, because that loss was so bad. You know, but they play a tough schedule, and they're a well-coached team. Why not have them up there? I guess what's the biggest argument against, other than the loss to South Carolina?
The biggest argument against their win against Florida was at a neutral site, so it wasn't at home or on the road.
It's always on a neutral site, though.
They were awarded way too much for beating Notre Dame by 6 at the beginning of on week 4. Way too much.
Okay.
The other wins are against what? Murray State, Arkansas State. Tennessee is not looking good.
Tennessee hasn't been good since the year after Peyton Manning left.
Yeah, it's been rough.
I would say a one-loss Oregon team to a ranked Auburn.
I would say that's is
going to be a better pick than Georgia.
I would too, him. And maybe in your eyes you think that they can't beat them, but I mean, I guess for me there's part of me that wants this thing divided up, so that the entire country can say, "Hey, man, we all got someone from our division represented." Or what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether whether we like who we get in our division or not, that's who we get. But
Oregon, I can't make an argument for. I've watched many of their games, and the Auburn game was the most impressive I think they've played until the USC game this past weekend, when they put up 56 points. But I mean, they only beat Washington State by 2. Washington State they have no defense, no discernible defense at all.
I can't believe you did that to Coach Leach like that.
I'm sorry, but he has a great offense. We all know it, but he has no defense. And then they barely beat Washington. Now that's a tough game at Washington. Okay, I can kind of see that. But then they only score 17 points on Cal and gave up a touchdown. And Cal at that point was terrible. So I don't it doesn't vibe with the rest of, I can't judge Georgia's wins and losses, but I guarantee they're probably a little bit more impressive than what I just said.
But then I'm sorry, Georgia's going to end up getting worked in the SEC championship anyway. So
That's probably true.
I have all right, a couple things. I just have a question before we have to let you go.
Okay.
Now, outside of obviously this gives content and gives conversation that we have, do you find these rankings to be important? The 5 weeks. I mean, there's 5 weeks of them. Do you find it to be important to see where the people are, where the teams are at? Do you think it's necessary to do this?
It's funny you say that because this morning on the Dan Levitard show, they were talking about somebody proposed the idea of just having one ranking come out at the end of the season and just have people speculate along the way. And that was interesting to me because, okay, then we give up this what if mentality that we're dealing with for the next 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's good for drama. It's good for ratings. It's good for sports media because it gives us something to talk about each week and argue about. But is it really helpful or beneficial? Does it actually show the trajectory and give us an inside look? No. So I think we could do with just one ranking at the end of the season, and that's what it is.
All right. No, I agree with you. It's it does, but it does fill content and it leads to argument and it does lead to reckless speculation. And in the end, it all works itself out. Someone's going to be left out.
He loves reckless speculation, though, Emily.
And then something weird will happen. Like one of the Power Five gets left out, and then a commissioner goes out and says, like, we need to change everything. And then all of a sudden, a senator is going to stick their nose where it doesn't belong and say that they need to get involved in the NCAA and change everything. And then we get to talk about a 16-team playoff from there. So.
Oh yeah, so many. Can I just tell you guys something that you may not know? And this has nothing to do with like the format, but for the playoff rankings, did you know that Utah has been in the college football rankings more than all but 5 teams in the nation?
Okay.
LSU, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, and then Utah. They've been in the rankings more than every team except those 5.
Well, that goes back to when Urban Meyer was there.
Yeah, but I still think it's interesting and worth noting because it's another thing people don't know about the Utah Utes.
All right.
It falls into that category. So.
All right, non-football question.
Okay.
Were you jealous that Jessica got to go to the World Series?
No, of course not.
She had a blast,
I was so happy for her. Yeah, she was a guest of Twitter in their suite, and she got to Twitter Sports and hang out with a bunch of. Jess and I do cool things all the time, so I'm not worried about. One World Series
I'm
game.
just teasing.
Okay. We have some adventures coming up that are going to be pretty spectacular. She's taking me home to Reno next week to meet the fam, show me where she used to go out and hang out. So.
All right. Well, make sure you document that on Twitter so I can see what's going on.
I will.
All right, Emily, thank you so much for making time for us. Always a pleasure talking with you. I'm sure we'll check in again, maybe even next week, so we can argue about this rankings and figure out what's going on.
I would love a weekly rankings debate. That's just what I need in my life.
Consider it done. Consider it done. Thank you, Emily.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, take care. All right.
Emily Van Breskirk. Mm-hmm. Great interview. Good times. We're going to go to break, Jay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Front Street Brewery is the oldest brew pub in the state of Iowa, nestled beautifully along the bank of the mighty Mississippi, and it's served Davenport since 1992 with all their great beers like the Davenport Gold, the Wise Guy, the Raging River, and the oh-so-popular Cherry Bomb Blonde. Check out their Facebook page for all their drink and food specials, and the webpage is www.frontstreetbrew.com. Restaurant will soon be open again at 208 East Road Drive. Tap room still rocking and rolling at the Freight House Complex. Get down and check out our friends at Front Street Brewery. And coming up next from the Quad City Times, Bobby Metcalf.
This is Matt Koss of the Quad City Times, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Sheedy Family Chiropractic is your choice for chiropractic care in the Quad Cities. Chronic problems, joint pain, or recent injury, don't let pain slow you down. Sheedy Family Chiropractic in Davenport can help decrease your pain and improve range of motion, keeping your busy life moving. Same-day appointments available most days for new patients and $20 sports physicals. Call today or visit sheedychiro.com. That's SHEEDY Chiro.com. Sheedy Family Chiropractic, getting you back to work, play, and life.
Since 1978, Advantage Advertising has been your one and only choice for promotional products and corporate apparel, all with your company's logo. At Advantage Advertising, you'll find products that are perfect for golf outings, company anniversaries, holiday parties, or health, wellness, and safety programs. We're accredited by the Better Business Bureau and a long-standing member of the Quad Cities Chamber. Visit AdvantageAdvertising.us to see all of the possibilities. Advantage Advertising, a proud supporter of Iowa State athletics.
Score a touchdown on your next new or used purchase at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll feel like you've entered the big game each and every time. You'll be treated like a pro player from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles, too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh, yeah. Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
With the loss of a loved one, planning a fitting service can be a real challenge. At Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, with our personalized service and attention to detail, you can be confident the service will be everything you wished for. We've been serving families in our area for generations. We would be privileged to serve yours too. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and the Knox Chapel.
Online sports betting is here with EliteSportsbook.com. If you are an active Rhythm City Casino Resort Club member, go to EliteSportsbook.com now and follow the prompts to start betting. Not a Resort Club member? Visit Rhythm City to join today. Bet with Elite Sportsbook at Rhythm City Casino Resort or online now. More ways to get in the game with EliteSportsbook.com and Rhythm City Casino Resort. Must be 21. Gambling a problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Sports seasons are changing from fall to winter at Augustana College. Men's and women's cross country host the CCIW Championship Saturday the 2nd at Saukey Golf Course starting at noon. The football squad welcomes Carroll for Senior Day the 9th at 1 at the Knowlton Athletic Complex. Then we turn to men's and women's basketball as they host games over the weekend at the Carver Center. For game times, locations, and more information, visit augustana.edu. Augustana College, a family-friendly front row seat to big-time small college sports.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KPOB, Davenport.
Welcome back to ESPN 1170. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're live here in the Hassle Castle. Brought to you by Done Right TV and Security. I want to thank Emily Van Buskirk for calling in and talking with us. Got to talk a little college football, playoff rankings. Remind everyone that you can listen on our Facebook Live feed, and you can leave comments on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. You can also listen on the app, your radio, and on your computer, ESPN 1170 AM. We're joined in studio by Bobby Metcalf from the Quad City Times. Bobby, how you doing?
Good, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. It's good to see you, my friend. Let's see. Last time we saw you, the World Series wasn't over with yet. You're happy with the Nationals win?
Sure am.
Sure am. Did you watch any of it?
Did I watch any of it? No.
No.
I watched bits and pieces of Game 7. I'll take that back.
Okay.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched bits and pieces.
Gotcha. Busy guy because we're going into postseason of all kinds of things. You were up at Eastern Valley, right, last week?
Gladbrook for Eastern Valley, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the 8-man football?
8-man football.
Okay, and they go in the quarterfinals this week.
Playing Don Bosco.
The Dons.
The Dons.
You're going to pass by there on your way up on Friday because you're going to go up and cover Bettner versus Cedar Falls, right?
Yep. First game ever first time I'm going to the Dome. Never been to the Dome.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I just thought about that. Yeah. No, it's fun, huh? I'm not making fun of. He knows where I'm getting at.
I know what you're getting at. He doesn't have to say it.
Yeah. Just being a smart aleck. That's all. It's no big deal. Anyway, it's nice time. It'll be fun up there. Are you getting up there early?
I mean, I'll probably get up there like 5:30ish, maybe.
How long do you need to be there for prep or anything like that?
Not that long, but I'll go just since I've never been there and don't know the format.
Slow build up, Jay.
I'm telling you, go to Mulligan's to eat.
Slow build up.
Go eat dinner at Mulligan's.
Want to hang out?
Yeah, well, no, I'm not doing that. You know what will happen when I say that?
I know exactly what's going to happen.
He's going to say no.
No.
And besides that, no one wants to hang out with my kids either. But we will be at Mulligan's eating there, so I would suggest going there. It's right off of 58 when you come into town, and then you can just head over west, and it'll get you right to the Dome.
All right.
So that's a place to check out. Mulligan's in Brick Oven Pizza in Cedar Falls. So that will be the one.
That'll be an interesting game. Obviously, Cedar Falls came up on top earlier this year, but Bettner was leading that game until the weather delay.
Yeah.
I was doing some looking back. Bettendorf has not lost twice to a team since '96.
That would have been Davenport Assumption.
That would have been PV.
Ooh, 96.
96.
Hmm.
They played PV twice, lost both games.
What year did you graduate, Jay? Oh, I don't get to talk.
Say that again, T. Ray.
What year did you graduate,
I was
Jay?
long gone.
Yeah, that's why,
But-
right?
No, that's not.
Every other time since then. I mean, they lost PV a couple years ago, beat them in the playoffs. They lost to
the Assumption. They always traded off if they beat. There was
Yeah.
a time in the '90s where they would lose, and then.
But
So
I mean, they've made them a really good job making adjustments. They've gotten obviously their passing game's improved quite a bit, and
Well, Bay Bowie's just tearing it
and
up.
yes, they have Harrison Bay Bowie. So
I mean, what 1,800 yards? I saw Cost put it out there. 1,800 yards.
29
closing in-
touchdowns.
Yeah,
I think it's like 1770.
Yeah, he says he closed on
29
1,830.
Yeah.
So I think that puts him, Jay, top 3 all-time seasons for a Bettendorf Bulldog running back. 2 of them held by Tavian.
Is that the stat that Cost put?
He's closing in on one of Tavian's, I believe.
All right. No, it's going to be interesting. Last time they met, they spread out the ball quite a bit. Bettendorf did, but Bay Bowie on the turf in the dome is going to be something else.
Yeah, well, and the other thing too is, I mean, obviously all year, with the exception of probably that game, they were, sort of holding Bay Bowie back in terms of you didn't want to run him down. Well, now it's the playoffs and you can just let him loose. And
Bettendorf will have to create some answers, and I don't know exactly what the personnel changes they've made, but they're going to have to create some answers in their secondary. That's the one thing they were exposed of the most against Cedar Falls. There were 2 big plays, actually 3, and that's what got them. And I wait till you see it. Cedar Falls is tall, like very, very tall. And I know what Mark Simpson, who we had on earlier, pointed out they won the last 2 state basketball championships. That might have something to do with it. But when you have receivers out there that can do that, and a quarterback who can run anytime, they are threatening on offense. But it will be a lot of fun, and I think it will go down as a classic, and you'll be excited to cover it and all that stuff. How's the Storm doing?
struggling out of the gate, which is surprising because I think they're a better team than their record says. They're 1-3-1. They've got plenty of skill, but their power play is just, it's cost them games right now. They're 0 for 27 to start the season, which I've never seen.
Oh. Well, they got a big night coming out on November 9th. That's going to be their salute to military. Saw that people were already, they painted names of the servicemen on there, servicemen, women, and vets on the ice. They did that yesterday.
I think it's be a good weekend for them. Evansville, I mean, they're not that great. At least they haven't played well to start. I mean, this Storm team on paper should be better than they are. And, you know, they took Peoria to overtime in the opener, you know, beat the league champions, split with the league champions, and then kind of had a clunker down in Birmingham. But, I mean, that they were kind of in both those games. So they're just not getting the things to go their way yet. I would think this weekend would be a good weekend for them to start turning it around.
There's going to be a post-game jersey auction on November 9th, and they're raising money for Guide Dogs of America.
Yeah, have you seen the jerseys?
That's right up there.
Here, buddy.
Yeah.
I hung every one of them. I
Tell
thought
you
they
which
were all
one it
beautiful.
is. It's November 9th. There it is right there. Yeah, the camouflage. The Storm goes from the right shoulder to the down to the left waist. Yeah, it's a nice-looking jersey.
Yeah.
They got a lot of them. Yeah, we hung them all up. We had Gwen in 2 weeks ago. So we've been talking about all that.
Marvel Night, we're going to have one every period. I don't know when that is coming up, but
I thought she said Marvel Night they were going to wear 3 at a time.
Well, one every period.
Oh, that's what it is? It's not mixed up. Oh, wow.
Okay, that makes
I thought
more
it was
sense.
like...
Yeah, she told us like there'd be 3, 3, and 3 on the ice at the same time.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
No.
I had heard it was just one every period.
That makes more sense.
I like that. Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
make
that
more
makes
sense.
more
God,
sense.
that'd be awful if you're.
Well, I know. Who's your team? Yeah, which I mean, you know.
I mean, it's all dark color, but still, like, wow, that would be terrible.
I know. I want to get my hands on Captain America one so bad.
Well, you can go to it.
All the Black Panther ones look sweet.
On March 7th.
Well, they're all sweet, dude.
On March 7th, you can go ahead and go to the live auction for the jerseys, Game 1 jersey for a Captain America. Maybe we'll get in sweet with Gwen and Rothy, and maybe we'll get you a custom made one. Who knows? We'll see what we can do.
I feel like you're making fun of me now.
No, I'm dead serious.
Start out picking on Bobby. Now you're just going to me.
No, I'm saying it's a goal to have. Like, hey guys, we put you on the air. We put butts in the seats. We help them out. Maybe they help you out.
I don't know.
What do you mean? You don't trust my? You don't trust
I think you have ulterior motives.
No, I don't at all.
You're gonna get me on the camera and then kiss cam me.
No. All right, Bobby, Serge, let's talk Bears.
Oh God, do we have to?
Yes.
Why do you got to get these two upset?
Because I haven't talked to Serge about it, and I haven't talked to Bobby about it. We got the Chicago Bears.
All right. I guess my first question is, guys, is it the coach or the quarterback? Or
Both.
Both.
100% both.
Did you see that stat, though? Okay, so Trubisky outside the pocket has the 6th best passer rating outside the pocket, but he's 22nd in attempts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's coach right there.
Well, it was earlier today, Dan Orlovsky was on Mike and Mike. And he went down to it and he said, if you got 70, this is all he said. He was talking about coaching, all right, and when it came to the Bears. So I thought it interesting. He said, if you do 70 plays on offense, 35 should be passing, 35 should be running. Done right there. And then you have 4 basic run plays. You can get into it. You can go back and listen to it, all that fun stuff. Now he said, out of those 35 passing, 25 to 27 should be him out of the pocket. And what he used as a reference was that Steve Young, when he was quarterback, would go to his OC, his head coach, and say, split the field in half for me. Stop making me do it so that I have to do the whole field. Let's get me out of the pocket running. And it's Steve Young. So just like you said, outside the pocket, they need to find ways to create things for him.
Work to the strength of your quarterback to start out with. And then if he does truly suck, then you would know that if you're playing to his strength. Listen, I'm with you guys. I think it's probably a little bit of both. I think it's more coach.
Trubisky's bad. I'm not, but I don't think he's being put in any sort of.
I just Nagy's not a good coach.
No, and to be honest with you, like it started when you have the Saints game where they run it 5 times in the first half. He comes out and complains about how they need to run the ball better, and they run it twice in the second half. That was the first sort of big warning, what the hell sign. And then you've got the Chargers game and the end of that game where he says, no, I defend the decision to take a knee every single day. I don't want to run the ball and risk losing yards, but I'll willingly take a knee and lose 2 yards. I mean,
zero thought of running it.
Yeah.
He hasn't adjusted to.
I mean, it goes to the point, guys, where he's the offensive coordinator for those back-to-back years down in Kansas City when they're highly favored. They're losing to the Titans. They go up big in the first half. They don't make any adjustments, and they come out and get destroyed in the second half. This is a guy who can't make adjustments.
Did you see that stat that only twice in the last so many years there's been a team that was held to like 10 yards in the first half, and both were run by Nagy?
Yeah.
One was the Bears last week, and then the other was the Chiefs team when he was the OC a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys already did guess lines, right? You guys already did guess lines this week?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are the Bears favored?
I don't know.
How?
Sergi, I don't know.
How wrong were you guys?
Well, I'll tell you. I'll go right to it.
It's amazing, though, to me that Coach of the Year guy
I
can go from
took
Coach of the Year
Detroit
to
-1.
Okay.
Jay actually took the Bears -3.
Oh.
So I was real close.
I said, no way. Detroit should be favored here.
It should be.
Because the Bears can't move the damn ball.
Right.
And that Detroit defense isn't that bad. And when you're leaving the Bear defense on the field the entire time, they can't get anything done.
It's amazing to me, though. You go in span of a year from Coach of the Year to look like you have no idea what you're doing.
Well.
Welcome to Jason Garrett.
Yeah. I think Garrett might be a better head coach than Nagy, though. I'm sorry.
So our buddy Mikey Hart out here on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread says, according to NBC Sports, Bears O-line is ranked 8th. I think they suck.
Yeah, they're terrible. How are they ranked 8th?
Right. I don't care what it says. I see it too.
I love the take. It's just very blunt to it. Well, I think they suck.
Well, if you watch the games, how are they 8th?
Yeah.
They're terrible.
I mean, the pressure's getting to dude. And it doesn't matter it's him or Chase Daniels.
What if we just happen to play the 7 offensive lines that are better or defensive lines that are better? No, they're horrible. I'm trying not to cuss right now. I'm so mad.
I'll be honest with you. I've stopped kind of watching them last couple weeks.
You want to know what I have too? Not denouncing my Bear fandom or anything, but I'm just like, I'd rather not watch them.
I watched that first quarter of the Eagles game.
My dad texted me because they're painful to watch. I'm like, I know.
That's the thing.
I watched that first quarter of the Eagles game, and I'm like, nope, I'm out. Can't watch this. They -1 yard in that first quarter?
I'd rather go get third place in a bags tournament than have to watch the Bears. Oh, yeah. I did that.
Good job.
I just sat outside. Bears are playing. Nah, they'll blow it.
No.
They'll blow it in the 9. These guys suck.
Well, they could make some changes in the offseason at quarterback.
What?
They won't.
They won't. They can't.
Well, sure they can.
No, they can't.
Why
They're not
not?
going to with him on a rookie contract still.
Well, somebody. Well, they don't have to trade for it. They don't have to trade him away.
When's their next first round pick? 2 more years?
They don't need. They can get a little
They have no
transition quarterback.
So what, they're going to go? They're going to go after
Andy
Cam
Dalton?
Newton? Go
That's
for-
a good call,
go
Bobby.
for
I
Cam
wasn't
Newton?
leading towards that whatsoever. But I mean, if the Carolina Panthers are going to save $19 million by either cutting him or trading him, and they're more likely not going to cut him, why don't you go after Cam Newton?
Bears don't have any money to pay Cam Newton. They're paying Khalil Mack.
What do you mean? They got money.
Not Cam Newton money.
Yeah,
that's probably right.
$19 million? What would it be left to take on that salary that's left on his contract? The Panthers are going to cut him or trade him in the offseason. That's over.
Well,
with
the
in
thing
Cam-
is, all right, if you're saying $19 million, what team can afford him?
I'm just saying the
All right, you
Panthers can
name
save
all the
$19
teams you
million.
want
I don't
that
know what
need
they'd be
him.
taking on.
All right, the only other team out there I say that takes him that needs him would be Washington. That's something Washington would do. But you'd have to ask Ezer Hayes if they even have room in the salary cap, if they're even close. Because
All right.
Case Keenum didn't come cheap,
All right,
right?
Bobby. Question of the week. I love how it changes every week. I don't mean the question. I mean just the perception of this. Who would you rather have at your starting quarterback right now? Mitchell Trubisky or Baker Mayfield?
Good question.
Wow.
When a hush falls over the crowd.
Wow.
Tough.
Mitch. And I'll tell you why.
Attitude-wise,
Yes, that's
I would,
exactly
I'd rather
why.
have Trubisky.
A little maturity, maybe.
That's the thing that sucks. It's like, okay, say what you want about him as a quarterback, and he's not. He's obviously playing terribly, or he's
Right.
terrible, or whatever. He's a likable guy. Like,
But he's not out there. He's not out there being a jaywad.
Uh-huh.
All right. He's not out. He's stoic. He's whatever you want to say, and you can say what you want about. Oh, it's because he's got fire. Whatever. No, he's just a jerk. Like the guy ran down with that by the cops.
Like you read that thing before this last game where Trubisky had Trubisky watch a game, the TV video of it of him, and how he's like, man, that's not who I am. Like he's like, I feel bad for him. Like he's not like he's,
So going back to the O-line thing, and it's been said out here, and everything that we're talking about has been said on the comment thread. He doesn't have enough time to throw, so he needs to use his legs and roll out a little bit more.
But how much of that is because
Yes.
he's not making the right reads?
He's also
at the
not
line of
making the
scrimmage?
right reads. Thank you. He's not throwing to the right people. He's panicking.
I'm talking about pre-snap reads.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
Like,
pre-snap.
Is the offensive line terrible, or is he just not making the right pre-snap?
He's not reading the defense once he does snap the
But
ball.
at the same time, that comes from coaching.
No, it's okay.
Someone in that coaching
Partially-
staff has to help him with pre-snap reads.
Yeah, but you know what? At that level, you shouldn't have to be depending on your coaching for pre-snap. You should be able to have a little bit more of that on your own. And then after that, once you snap the ball, I don't know if it's a combination of being a little gun shy on not having enough time the previous 4 plays, and now all of a sudden he does have a couple seconds where all he does to do is step up in the pocket a little bit and complete that pass. Now he crumbles under pressure and runs the wrong way or doesn't run at all and then gets sacked.
Well, again, there was another, and again,
It's
like I
sad to
said,
watch.
I didn't watch a ton of that game on Sunday, but the first quarter there was a play. I think it was like a 3rd down and 3 or 4, and he comes up and he goes kill. So I'm assuming he's checking to a run, and he checks into a run play that gets stuffed. So I mean, what's he seeing there, like that makes him think we can audible to a run? And then he's not making the right audibles, he's not making the right reads. He's just regressed so much.
That's the thing. He regressed, and if you regress that bad, that's coaching. I'm sorry. That's in my eyes.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's where I think it's a combination of everything. You can't just pinpoint it on coaching. I mean, I'm
well,
leaning
no,
towards
Serge,
coaching right now.
I'm going to make a correlation of this.
He's been
okay.
bad.
Here's the
bad.
correlation of the coaching. Okay. When Carson Wentz looked his best, who was his quarterback's coach? Anybody? Frank Reich.
Okay.
Frank Reich leaves. Carson Wentz has never been the same since. They'll blame it on the knee, but I'm telling you right now,
Carson all day.
I'm just saying. You blame it on the knee all you want. It's coach. There's a lot with coaching, you guys.
Yeah.
When it comes to those little nuances, little details, you got a guy in your ear when you're coming off the field that's putting the right things in your head, so that way you don't look like you're scared, running around, seeing ghosts.
What was Cutler's best year? Wasn't it when Adam Gase was his coordinator?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just some guys work better with other guys, and that they had something going on there in what you would call it. I don't know who.
But here's the thing,
what is gone from last year's
That's the
Bears
thing.
team.
They didn't. I don't think they lost anybody except for Fangio, but like offensively, because Nagy's still there.
Well, what's going on then where Nagy, someone is, the communication train with helping this quarterback grow stopped. Whether it's Nagy just saying, okay, I think he's good enough. I don't need to train him up or coach him up anymore. To teams going, okay, hey, we looked at some film. Here's some weaknesses we see. If we can keep Trubisky in the pocket, we got a better chance of beating this team, and that's what they're doing.
That's the thing. I think last year, if you watch, there was a lot of rollouts, a lot of bootlegs, a lot of, like Jay said, cutting the field in half, and now it's all you're reading the entire field. Now you're stationary in the pocket, and instead of cutting the field in half, they're trying to say, you're right, you got to take care of the entire field. And I just don't know why they're not going back to what they were doing last year that was working.
There's always a lot of fun things on the internet, including something called overthecap.com. If Cam Newton
This is like a commercial.
is guaranteed $18.6 million in 2020, and the Bears have $12 million in the cap space, you've got to make up $6 million, roughly. Let's just say, do the numbers that way, all right?
Okay.
I think you could be fine with working out, moving some things around. One being, like, get rid of Cordarrelle Patterson's $4.25 million.
Yeah, he's not doing nothing.
Well, Nagy has no idea how to use him, just like every other coach has no idea how to use him.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things. I'm looking at guys.
He didn't make it in New England.
I'm just looking at guys to get rid of.
Teams know how to use him, but...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, if anybody would know how to use them, you'd think
Cordarrelle's
Belichick
4.25. No, I'm sorry. That's what he makes this year. Next year, he's scheduled to make 5.75. There's you're only off by that. Now you're only off by $800,000 because you need to make up 6.6 basically.
Oh, maybe Kyle Long will retire.
Kyle Long. Well, that opens up $9.6 million if he retires.
He might.
You can make that trade easily, and then because you don't have Chase Daniel next year. The Bears don't. So now you have your backup in Mitchell. You don't worry about that, and you got Cam.
So here's the other question now: Is Cam
healthy Cam?
Yeah, healthy
Cam.
Healthy Cam, yes, healthy Cam, yes. But is Cam ever going to be healthy again?
I don't know. I don't know. But I would say beat up Cam's better than Mitch.
Probably, but the thing is, Nagy will just
Nagy's got to go. Nagy's got to go, right?
Well, they're not going to fire him after 1 year.
That's two.
Well, no, but he won Coach of the Year last year. They're not going to fire him. They're not
Pace is the one whose hot seat's got to be there. That's the one. Pace. Period.
But then Pace can say, "Well, look what I did with the defense."
You fire Pace, and I guarantee you the next GM coming in is firing Nagy right away.
Yeah, but he's not firing. No,
he can say,
then he'll fire him 3 games into the season next year.
Maybe.
So you might as well just get it done now.
They're a mess.
I get what you're saying.
It's amazing. They're a mess. They went from being like, a possible Super Bowl contender to being an absolute mess. They're the Browns.
They're not that bad, but yeah.
Right.
They're pretty damn close.
They're close.
We have to take a break. We have a phone call when we go back. Bobby, thank you so much for your time. If you want to stick around, you're more than welcome. I know you're a busy guy. If not, follow Bobby at Bobby Metcalf 88 on Twitter. He'll be writing about Bettendorf and Cedar Falls. You can follow everything he's reading on QCVarsity.com and then also at Quad City Times. And then also all these Storm guys out there, he'll be writing about them. So thank you, Bobby. We appreciate it. We need to take a quick break and make a phone call. We're going to call Jeff in Cincinnati.
They've been making all your Sundays fun days, Jay, since what year? 2008?
Yes.
That's right. That's Pints. Make sure you get in there for $2.50 20-ounce domestic trash, $3 you call it, and all of the NFL action that you can handle on a Sunday. And then remember, every happy hour, Pints has complimentary Vans pizza starting at 5 o'clock. That's right. 4 large pizzas from our friends at Vans, and you get to wash them down with some of that cold beer from Pints. So get in there and check them out. That's Pints, 5268 Utica Ridge Road in Davenport.
We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Phone call with Jeff in Cincinnati. He's up on the roof.
This is Lobo from Lobo Salsa. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
In business, is it better to build your way to growth or buy your way? First Midwest Bank has ideas. It's a critical decision and different for every company. A First Midwest commercial banker can help you weigh your options. Because at First Midwest, they're not just bankers, but expert financial advisors. Talk to one today or visit wehaveideas.firstmidwest.com. M&A momentum, strategic momentum, business momentum. First Midwest Bank.
Sports seasons are changing from fall to winter at Augustana College. Men's and women's cross country host the CCIW Championships Saturday the 2nd at Saukey Golf Course starting at noon. The football squad welcomes Carroll for Senior Day the 9th at 1 at the Knowlton Athletic Complex. Then we turn to men's and women's basketball as they host games over the weekend at the Carver Center. For game times, locations, and more information, visit augustana.edu. Augustana College, a family-friendly front row seat to big-time small college sports.
Online sports betting is here with EliteSportsbook.com. If you are an active Rhythm City Casino Resort Club member, go to EliteSportsbook.com now and follow the prompts to start betting. Not a Resort Club member? Visit Rhythm City to join today. Bet with Elite Sportsbook at Rhythm City Casino Resort or online now. More ways to get in the game with EliteSportsbook.com and Rhythm City Casino Resort. Must be 21. Gambling a problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Wow, you look amazing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Is that a new outfit or something?
No.
Did you change your hair or something's different?
No, I just got the most expensive auto insurance I could find.
Woohoo, look at you, high roller.
Yeah, it's pretty fancy.
There's no such thing as fancy auto insurance. So why pay more for the same coverage?
Nothing fancy or expensive, just great auto coverage with Jorgensen Insurance. Get your free quote at jorgenseninsurance.com.
Heading out of town? Stay connected to Quad City Sports with Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Download the ESPN 1170 app today and never miss a thing. From the Quad City Sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, everybody, thanks to Bobby Metcalf for being in studio and a little bit of Bears talk with him and the stat cat over there. Poor guy. To play bags.
We're going to give a phone call to Jeff in Cincinnati real quick. Talk to him about his
Jay's
time.
making that phone call. I'm going to remind everybody about Jeff from the Natty. Andy, I think he knows you. I think he's your cousins. Anyway, Jeff from the Natty, a business owner from Cincinnati who vowed not to leave his roof until the Bengals had won a game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you follow NFL at all, you realize that the Bengals have not won a game.
Hello.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey.
Hey, Jeff, you're on ESPN 1170 here in the Quad Cities. Want to thank you for your time. We know you talked last month with the guys down the hall, Dwyer Michaels, here in Iowa, and we wanted to reach out with you. A month later, you're still up on the roof, right?
Yep, I'm up here.
Oh man, buddy.
So tell us, how did you get here? I mean, I know people can read it, but I want to hear it from you. How did you get up on the roof until the Bengals win?
Well, we were all having a tailgate party at my restaurant, Hog Rock Cafe, out in Milan, Indiana. And we were in there, and it was halftime, and people were starting to leave. And I just, I made a comment out loud about I was going to pull a wild man Walker if we can't beat Arizona. And, well, we went down to Cincinnati, down to the tailgate Sunday against Arizona, and my wife was on Channel 12 News live. They come to our tailgate spot, and she said it live on TV that if we didn't win today, that, her husband was going to go and stay on the roof until Cincinnati won a game. And, I never thought we would lose to Arizona, and now I'm up here.
You're referring
You know what?
to...
Maybe she knew, and she just wanted to get you on the roof. Is that what's going on?
I hope not.
You're referring to in 1991 when Wildman Walker did something similar, right?
Right, yeah.
And how long was he up there?
He was up there 61 days, but his didn't kind of start like that. His was a little bit different. He had two radio companies had a bet going on, and then from what he told me, I guess it was him and the place in Colorado, and whoever's team lost, I guess, the first game, the other person had to go on the roof, and they end up going, I think, 0-8 that season.
Oh no!
Oh man!
So what? Now, right now, you've been up there how many days?
I think 31 or 32 days.
Oh Lord! All right.
How do you keep warm? What do you have up there to keep you company? I mean, I know you have plug your Facebook page real quick.
What's that?
Plug your Facebook page real quick. It's at Jeff Up on the Roof, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so how do you keep warm? What do you have up there to keep yourself occupied?
Well, I got two heaters inside this 10 by 12 tent, and my wife went and got me a TV. So we ran a HDMI line off of a tiki bar that I have out in the beer garden here.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to call downstairs to get them to change stations so I can watch different games. And then after that, it's pretty much Netflix. I probably got the cleanest gutter and rubber roof in the state of Indiana. I go up there all the time.
Did you?
What's going on? I mean, so obviously you're up there, and then they bench the Red Rocket, and they don't even trade him. Like, I mean, there was so many viable trade options, and I mean, what's your first reaction to that?
Well, I mean, my thought is that the reason why they didn't trade him was because, you know, we have a horrible offensive line, and if Finley goes down, he's going to have to go back in. I don't think we have a backup beyond Dalton.
Okay.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I think the NFL is running out of Allens as backups.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's in the future for Cincinnati, but I'll tell you what, I'll be pulling if there's an Allen out there that wants the quarterback for him. I'll be pulling for him. So what is I don't know what do you think maybe they're going to do this?
Yeah, when do you think they're going to win? When do the Browns come to the town? That's the next dumpster fire, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
you got Raiders
I don't
next
think
week.
I don't think we can personally beat Baltimore like that. I do believe. I mean, I think Finley's going to give us a lot better chance just because he's more mobile than Dalton and he's hungry. He's got to make a name for himself.
When's AJ Green coming back?
He'd come back.
This game.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
So, Jeff, this could be a letdown game for Baltimore because they're riding off the high of being the Patriots. You only lost to them by 6 last time in Baltimore. This could be it. Now, you come down for tailgates. Do you go to the games, too?
No, I haven't came down off the roof at all.
Oh, I don't know why it says in the article that said that come down for when you have business meetings or tailgates or anything. You haven't come down at all.
Yeah, somebody did say that
Yeah.
at first, but then you have haters all over, and then people started hating on it. And
Oh.
so I was like, finally, I'll just stay up there. I am going to come down Saturday, but I made a prior commitment.
Uh-huh.
It's we got a benefit that we're doing it's called backroading for baby Brooke.
Okay.
And I'm going to come down. I'm preparing all the food for it, and we're going to try to raise as much money as possible for that baby. And then I let everybody know, if there's haters out there, I'll make that day up that I come down Saturday to go down there. I'll stay an extra day if it makes everybody happy.
Yeah, those people can kick rocks anyway.
The internet's full of goons.
So you're in this is the Hog Rock Cafe, and you're in is it Milan or Milan? We have a Milan, Illinois.
Milan, Indiana.
So you have a Milan too, and you guys are just like right next door to Cincinnati, right?
Yep, about 30 miles. I'd say 30, 35 miles away.
Do you know Andy?
No, he doesn't know Andy from
right.
that. So
I only know him by Andy from the Natty. I just thought maybe.
Do you get a lot of visitors?
Yeah, I get quite a few.
Oh,
a lot of people really haven't heard of Milan. I always tell them you gotta, if you remember the basketball movie The Hoosiers.
Yeah.
That's the town.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Yeah, Hickory is based off of that. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, Jeff, I want to thank you for your time. We hope that you get to come down soon, but the story's great, and if this continues, we're gonna have to check back in with you though.
Once it gets really cold, we gotta do a welfare check on everybody.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, man.
Well, hey, best of luck to you, and again, it's Hog Rack Cafe. Your Facebook page is Jeff Up on the Roof, and what's the benefit that you're coming down for? Let's really talk about that.
It's backroading for baby Brooke. She was born with spina bifida, and it's to help raise money for the family. They're gonna have to, get a different home. Their home they live in now is a 2-story home, and they're gonna have to get them in a ranch. They're gonna have to make the house, handicap accessible. So since I've been up here, I really haven't, I've kind of set a goal out to try to help raise as much money as possible for this little baby, and that's kind of like pretty much what I do all day long, between Facebook, making stuff on our Hog Rock Cafe Facebook page or on the roof, or just, when we have tailgate parties here for every Sunday for the games, we do split the pots and stuff and try to help that family out.
That's awesome.
Nice, man.
That's really great.
Good stuff, buddy.
Jeff, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, and keep it up, man. And don't worry about those haters. That's a waste of everyone's time. Don't even give them a second thought.
Will do.
All right, man.
All right,
Take
Jeff.
care.
Good luck, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. All right, that's Jeff Lanham at the Hog Rack Cafe.
Not to jinx the guy.
Oh,
There's
God.
no way they go over on the year. with
All
that
right,
with that schedule.
Serge, you got the register? Yeah,
I do.
Give it to me,
I got the rest of their schedule,
and I'll be
Okay.
as honest as I can.
So, home against the Ravens,
Loss.
at Oakland,
Loss.
home against the Steelers,
Loss.
home against the Jets.
Win.
Okay, home or at the Browns,
Loss.
home against the Patriots,
Loss.
at the Dolphins,
Could possibly win.
home against the Browns.
Could possibly win.
Okay.
I would say they got 3 chances to win. 3 legitimate chances to win. And with AJ Green coming back, that changes a lot of things up. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I mean that Tyler Boyd's a good receiver, but he looks a lot better when
I wasn't
everybody's
just being a smart aleck.
No.
No way they go over. It's already been done. No way it happens.
No, I think they can.
Any
beat the
given
Jets.
Sunday.
The Jets is the one they can beat. Because
There's a few of them.
Yeah.
Between the Jets, the
Jets are a mess, too.
Chopper's bad that I threw the Raiders in there too. I'm sorry. They're beatable.
I not right now. I think the Raiders are too
Okay,
good right now.
okay.
I really, Serge,
That's
the
fine.
Raiders are an improved team.
They are.
I was on them bad. I mean, I said yesterday, Nolan Rose now is.
He's telling me to go to the roof at 11-17. I said, keep me out of your suckfest. So I got my own crappy team to worry about.
I
right
told
now.
Nolan he still looks like Captain Caveman, but his team's decent.
Okay.
But the Raiders should beat them. Since he's the worst team in the league right now.
We're going to start looking at the weather report over there in Milan, Indiana.
Dude.
I
think we should change them all to Milan, by the way.
Milan. Yeah.
Bars and
Fancy.
Yeah, it sounds way more fancy.
So we got some new listeners out there, thanks to Jeff. So appreciate that too. And best of luck to you.
Look at us. We're more popular in the Natty area now than we ever have.
We're more popular in Milan, Indiana, than we are in Milan, Illinois.
It's possible.
It's very possible. It's very possible.
Yeah.
We're in Aspen.
We're kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Harry, your hands are freezing.
We're in the Rockies.
Speaking of freezing, I want to remind everybody that the weather is changing and the snow is going to be coming soon.
Boo.
And you need to be prepared. Go down, get snow blowers. Do you call it a snow blower or snow thrower?
Blower.
Snow blower.
I call it a snow thrower. And my
Your
buddy's,
mama was a snow blower, Jay.
my everyone gave me a hard time about that. I called it a snow thrower. Snow blower, snow thrower.
That's what you call a skinny white chick from the 70s. Snowblower.
It blows the snow. It doesn't pick it up and throw it.
Yeah, head down to our friends down at K&K True Valley to take care of that. And also, go get your lawnmower in there now instead of waiting till May and wondering why it takes so long to take care of it. You got to be at the forefront of everything.
You guys know that that Patriots-Ravens game that went on the other night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost a bet.
You did?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What was the bet?
It's bad.
What do you mean?
How bad?
Midway, mid first half,
Yeah.
I would say I was still confident that the Patriots are going to come back and win this.
Yeah.
So I bet a friend of ours, underhand athlete of the world, Adrian Ward.
Yeah?
I bet Adrian that the Patriots would still win by 10.
10 by 10?
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. So what was the bet?
Oh, I have to wear a Major League Baseball hat for a month.
The Cubs for a month?
Cubs hat for a month.
You got to stop drinking so much when you make these bets.
You want me to get you one of my hats? My hats are cool.
Yeah, you're not going to fit me.
I know, that would make it even cooler.
No. Adrian said he's got one for me. If not, I'll get one. There's a little more. There's a bet within the bet, too. If I fail at this, I have to do something else. So I'm going to rock it. Yeah, I've never had to do that.
Oh, Lord.
Not looking forward to it. So I'm just prefacing this so that way when you guys, they do see me on the radio wearing a Cubs hat, that is why I've not switched sides.
Yes, you have not switched sides.
Join me, Luke, and rule the galaxy together.
Bad.
Want to thank everybody today. We got to thank Jeff from Cincinnati that at the Hog Rock Cafe for calling in and
We had a lot of guests today, Jay.
check
We're
in on
busy
him.
beavers.
And we'll check back. Hopefully, he comes on soon. And we got to thank Emily Van Buskirk for calling in as well. Follow her on Twitter at MLM. And then she also has her podcast, Locked On Pac-12, Locked On Podcast Pac-12. And she also writes for yardbarker.com. Bobby Metcalf from the Quad City Times. You can follow him at Bobby Metcalf88. Mark Simpson from Cedar Falls, Waterloo. He's up there for MCM from Mediacom. He'll be doing the Bettendorf Cedar Falls game up there. It will not be on Mediacom down here. If you want to do that, you should go to our friends at QCSportsNet.com. They're going to be having the game on radio stream through. So tomorrow, I think Vasco's going to be in for you.
Yes,
you're
sir.
out for the day, and we still have our guests and everything else, so we'll still be going strong. We're gonna have a phone call from Tim O'Neill Tim O'Neill. That's my music to tell me to shut up.
Well, you can talk.
We're gonna have a phone call from Tim O'Neill from the Dubuque Telegraph Herald, talking to us about Western Dubuque, Epworth, and their game coming up against North Scott. And we're gonna try to reach out to someone from East St. Louis to talk to us about the Rock Island game.
And if you live in Milan, Indiana, please continue to listen to the show.
Yes, please continue to listen to the show and go support the Hog Rock Cafe and everything they're doing there. Again, you guys have a hassle-free Wednesday. We will see you in 22 hours. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities.
Love, peace.